Hello trader, welcome back to GBPUSD Forex. We'll be giving you our weekly Forex forecast. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification button to get our weekly updates. If you have any questions or any comments, feel free to comment on the comment section. Without any further ado, let's get started. USDJPY. For USDJPY this past week, it was at around this point, and we see that we're expecting a down move to reach this level here. And this movement was 150 pips. It went down 150 pips to reach the point at which we say it's gonna reach. Then from here we see that we're expecting a big up move. USDJPY, we're likely to get this down move to complete up to this point. This down move to reach this point here. Then from this point we'll be looking forward for a buy. This down move we will not be taking. We will not be trading this down move because it's a little bit small and it's a bit risky. So we'll be looking forward for it to complete. Then from this point we'll be taking our buys. And you can see that we got an impulse move this next week. If you want to trade this pair, just wait for a corrective structure here that will give you better risk to reward. Then you look for an entry from around this area. It's expected to give a pullback or a correction, then all the way up. That's what we're seeing for USDJPY. There's also a chance that USDJPY could head all the way up to this point. Then from this point it may reverse down, but if price gets to this point we'll assess it and then we'll give you an update on what's next from here. But for now our focus, our bias is all the way up. Any down move we will not trade it. Any down move we will not trade it. Our bias is only up, all the way up to this point here for USDJPY. GBPJPY. GBPJPY, we've been focusing this up move. And this past week we see that we're expecting a correction here, then continuation to the upside all the way up to this point. And as you can see, that's exactly what we got. And from here what price is showing that we are likely to get a small corrective structure, then one last up move to reach this point. So for this next week, two things can happen. Either from here we move all the way down to this point, or price continues up all the way to complete structure up to this point. Then from here we might be pushing all the way down to this level here. So you need to be able to monitor this pair such that you know if it's gonna continue up or if it's gonna head down from here. For us, we will need the week to unfold so that we can get our entry strategy confirming this trade for us so that we can sell, because overall our bias is down. Any continuation up, we will not be interested in it. We'll just wait for it to be ready, then we get a sell. For EURUSD this past week we said that we're expecting a down move either from here, or if EURUSD continues up we'll let it complete its movement, then we'll be looking forward for an entry down. As for now, EURUSD we're expecting down move like that, then a corrective structure up to this point, then a down move will be next. That's what we have for EURUSD. We're expecting a down move all the way down to this point. Any continuation up we will ignore it. Our bias is only to trade EURUSD down because structure is showing that there's a down move that's expected, and the down move is much bigger than any up move that will come. So we're expecting to trade that down move. We'll be waiting for it. If we get our entry strategy confirming the sell this next week, we'll be trading that all the way down to this point here. AUDJPY. For AUDJPY, our bias is down. Our bias is down all the way down to this point. We're expecting a down move. If we get our entry confirmed to the downside, we can be trading this next week. If it continues up, we'll just ignore it and then look for other tradable setups. But for now, AUDJPY, our bias is down. Any up move, we are not interested in it. We're only looking for sell opportunities all the way up to this point. That's AUDJPY. GBPCHF. GBPCHF, we're expecting a down move, 600 pips down move to reach this point here, all the way down to this point. 600 pips move from where it is, it's expected to move 600 pips down. Then from here we're expecting a much bigger move, which is around 1000 pips all the way up to this point to break this previous high here. That's what we're expecting for GBPCHF. If you do not know how to trade this, just set it aside, because this setup might push all the way up to this point and you need to know if it's gonna pivot from here or from here for you to get an entry. So if you don't know how to trade it, just set it aside and trade other setups. But for now our bias is down. We're expecting a down move. Any up move we will not be taking it. We're only expecting a down move, and that's what we'll be trading if we get it. That's for GBPCHF, only down. From here, there's the only time we'll be looking for buy opportunities. If it gives a buy here, we will not trade it. We're only looking for a buy from this point all the way up. EURAUD. EURAUD this past week we see that we're expecting an up move all the way up to this point. We're still expecting that up move, but from here we might push down just down a little bit to this point, then up. So if you do not get an entry either here or here, you can just wait for this pullback, then wait for this entry, then you can trade this all the way up. But that's for EURAUD. There's an expected up move all the way up to this point here. GBPCHF from this point, we focus on an up move to reach this level. Then we say that if you are trading it, just be careful, because here there's a chance that we might get a down move. But from here, it looks like it followed our initial forecast all the way up. As you can see, it went all the way up. From here, there's a chance that we might get a small correction here, then up to complete structure. Then from here, we might be getting a bigger sell. So if you'd have loved to trade this but you missed it, just wait for this completion of the structure here up to this point. Then from this point, that's when you can be looking for a sell opportunity, a bigger sell opportunity. It's gonna be bigger than this up move, so just wait for it. GBPAUD. For GBPAUD, this past week, from here we see that we're expecting an up move. We're expecting an up move to reach this point. We're expecting an up move, and you can see we got this movement up. What you can do for now is just wait for a corrective structure, then up move. If you get this corrective structure or just any pullback to the downside, you can be looking forward for an entry to buy all the way up. Right now, from here, it's risky to buy from here. Just wait for a pullback or a corrective structure, then buy all the way up to this point. Buying from here would mean that if you buy, then it goes down against you. Any person who's holding, who has found an early entry, if it goes down, they'll be running out at break even. But for you, you'll be running out with a loss. So just wait for this pullback here, then look for an entry all the way up to this point. That's GBPAUD. EURGBP. For EURGBP, this next week, there's a chance that we might push up. We might push up all the way up to this point. Then from this point, there'll be a down move. There'll be an expected down move. So because this up move is small, you can just wait for it to complete. Then after it's completed, from here, you can be looking forward for an entry to sell all the way down. You can be looking forward for an entry to sell all the way down, all the way up to this point. NZDCAD is expected to go down. That's what structure is showing. It's expected to go down, even though there's a likely chance that it might give one more up to break this previous high. But overall structure is down. Just be careful when you're trading this one, but overall structure is down. GBPNZD. This past week we talked about an up move. From this point, we said we're expecting an up move to reach this level here for GBPNZD, and as you can see, it moved up 600 pips, and this forecast was the forecast that was shared by one of our students. We got an impulse move which is 600 pips. This next week we're expecting to get a corrective structure here. So if you wanted to trade this but you didn't get an opportunity to trade it, just wait for a corrective structure. Then you can be looking forward for an up move, for an entry up after we get a corrective structure or a pullback. Then we can trade this all the way up to this point. It's expected to reach this level here. That's GBPNZD. GBPUSD. For GBPUSD, we say that we're expecting continuation up. This past week we say that we're expecting continuation up. Then when this up move is completed, we'll be looking forward for a bigger down move. That bigger down move might move down from here all the way down, or we might get a corrective structure here, then up to break this previous high. Then after this up move is completed, there's when the down move will be ready. If you do not know how to look for an entry on GBPUSD, you don't know what to look for to enter, just simply ignore it and look for other setups that are tradable. But our overall bias is down for GBPUSD. We're expecting a big down move to reach all the way to this point here. NZDJPY. For NZDJPY, we're expecting this movement to complete structure to reach this level here. Then after it reaches this point, we'll be looking forward for an up move all the way to break this previous high here, A down move, then an up move. That's for NZDJPY. We're expecting an up move, but only from this point, and a down move to complete this current structure, then head all the way up. That's for NZDJPY. EURNZD. For EURNZD, we talked about this up move from here. We focused on an up move, and as you can see, price has moved up around 500 pips. From here, two things can happen. What structure is showing that there's a likely chance to push down all the way down to this area to break this previous low here. It's possible, and also it's possible that we might get a pullback or a corrective structure here, then price continues up. So if you're trading this, just make sure that your stop loss is on break even, just to be safe, or you can just make sure that your stop loss is on profits just to be safe, so that when this down move comes, you're safe, and when this up move comes, you still secure those profits. That's for EURNZD. USDCHF from this past week, we say that from here we're expecting an up move, but this structure looks like it's not complete yet. We might continue down, and if it continues down, we will just wait, and then when the movement is completed, we can be looking forward for an entry up. So this next week, the way structure looks, we might look for an entry up. If we get our entry confirmed, we'll be looking forward for an entry to trade it all the way up to reach this point here. That's for USDCHF.